everyone. Welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Robyn Zimmerman. We have two very special guests with us today. They are part of the cast of A Christmas Carol that's being presented by Ensemble. We have John Dyrud.
Nice.
We also have Maggie Kettering, and they have been in several shows. I think we said like 4 at Ensemble.
We're going with.
But this particular show is, of course, A Christmas Carol that we all know, the story of Scrooge and the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. But it's a new adaptation. So Maggie, you want to share with us kind of why you all chose to do this show?
Lean did a radio play version of this during the pandemic, and really Blake fell in love with Christmas Carol again. Yeah. And the thing about this adaptation is it's every single word is from the book. There's nothing added.
Even the stage direction.
Even the stage directions.
Yeah.
And we've pared down the cast so that it's Scrooge and then 4 other actors, and they each play one of the ghosts. So past, present, future, and Marley. And so that all of the ghosts kind of create this world for Scrooge. It's a really, really cool pared down version.
Yeah.
So John, you play what part?
The Ghost of Christmas Present.
Yes.
And Old Joe, which is the part that I've been dying to play my whole life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why? Now, you are from New York and Chicago, so, and why do you come to Hilton Head to be involved with you are part of the ensemble, the Lean Ensemble.
Yeah.
So why Hilton Head?
I'm promised warm southern weather, and it brings me in. This year has fallen back on me.
It's like 40 degrees.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's such a great. We were talking about it's such a great community down here, and it's a really, really exciting place to be. I've known Blake for 20-something years, and John's been coming down here.
Feels like 20-something
years. Almost every year now.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I just love being down here. It's just a really cool community of artists.
So for our viewers that don't understand kind of the dynamic of Lean Ensemble, you all come from other places, you memorize your lines, and then you basically just got here, and the show will be opening next week, which I think the preview's on the 12th, and then it opens on the 13th. So how can you put together a show so quickly?
You come prepared. You have to come prepared. You have to know. You kind of have to know. We know most of our lines at this point, so it's just when you get here, it's kind of like you really get to fine tune and play and figure out what it is together, as opposed to just like sitting there trying to smash these lines into your brain.
Because usually you have a month or 6 weeks to rehearse, and you gel as a cast.
Yeah.
So do you gel that quickly within a couple of weeks?
Well, the nice thing about Lean is that there are a lot of familiar faces, so that John and I have known each other for over a decade, and we have a couple of new folks in the cast, but people that and so you jump in and you get really.
And you're all professionals, so you know exactly what to do.
You can't. We do the time or two.
One hopes. Yeah.
Well, it's always new every time you do it. There's no like. My wife always reminds me. She's like, you do this every time, where you get into this like kind of rut of like, your process where you feel really good about it, and then you start working on it, and then you're like, well, I don't feel as good about it as I did the first time, and then it gets back to feeling better. That's fun.
So for those who say, Christmas Carol, I've seen it before, why do I need to really go over to Lean and over to Main Street Theater and see A Christmas Carol again? I know it's a new adaptation, but why is this one so special?
I think there's something about the times that we live in where everything feels, there's been a lot of change and a lot of upheaval, and you never really know what's coming. And Christmas Carol it's a familiar story, but there's so much to be gained from it, and I think there's so much darkness in it, and once we get to the reclamation and Scrooge, spoiler alert, becomes a better person.
What?
It's new every time. There's a reason it's a classic.
And why do you think it's such a great play?
It's not like Scrooge at the end of this play goes on and cures cancer. Scrooge at the end of this play goes on and is a better person, appreciating what's around him. And I think that is always a phenomenal reminder, no matter what time of year it is, specifically in these, whether you're happy about what just happened, sad, it's always a good reminder to be reminded to be just a better human being,
To look
and
up.
to treat people like they're friends and not enemies. You know?
And be grateful for what we have,
Yeah.
the
Yes.
blessings and so forth that
Yeah.
we sometimes take for granted.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, so good to see you again.
So good to see
Not
you.
seeing on stage, Arlene, but again, we want to remind our audience that it is A Christmas Carol, a new adaptation. It opens at Main Street Theater, being presented by Lean Ensemble on the 13th of December. Thank you all for being with us.
Thank you.
I'm going to say break a leg,
Thank you.
but really
I'll try.
don't. Okay.